So today we'll start with data control language, grant and revoke, and then we'll try to finish queries. We have done whatever we have been doing so far as queries. I'll just explain. We also done subqueries. I'll explain what subqueries and all are. Then we will see flow control. Then we'll go functions and all. So let us start. I just wanted to tell you something before I start showing the presentation. I'll share my paint screen. Okay. So just a real life example. You can consider it as a story as well. It's fine. So let us say you go back to your school days, college days. You would have had appointments. They're called as, let's say, school captain, school vice captain. Then you would have sports captain, and then you'd have cultural captain. Something like this. There are different uh, roles, and they would do initial ceremony, and then some student will be selected and given these kind of roles, right? And then each of them will have responsibilities, or you can say responsibilities. You can also say they'd have certain perks. Maybe school captain has, let's say, he can go to library anytime he want, and if you are in a private, if you are in a hostel and all that, so you would have even more responsibilities and even more permissions. You'll have a lot of permissions. You'll also have a lot of responsibilities. You'll also have a lot of similarly, even in databases and all that. So here, if I would consider, let us say there are students. Student A is there, student B is there, student C is there. Okay, and this guy becomes the school captain. This guy becomes the school vice captain. So this guy becomes the what? He becomes a cultural captain. So now these people are more powerful, let's assume. Okay. So because they have these roles, they have become powerful. Just by themselves, they don't have anything, right? They don't have any much power or anything. Similarly, anywhere in access control. What do I mean by access control? Anywhere where there is power. You take, for example, our parliament only. So all of these places now they have something called as roles. In parliament, it can be MP, MLA, so and so forth. Okay. Now all these roles, right? They have responsibilities. You have a role, you have a responsibilities, and then you have normal users, people. Okay. So we give roles to we give responsibilities to a role. Okay. And then people inherit that role. Like for example, let us say the prime minister of our country is Narendra Modi. So prime minister is a role. Prime minister has a lot of responsibilities, and he also has a lot of permissions, perks, whatever. And people are assigned that role. So who is the people here? It is Narendra Modi. Even wherever there is access related things, right? So they are designed like this only. So whenever we are talking about access systems, how is it designed? So you have users, okay, and then you have roles, and then you have permissions. The users can be anyone. Let's say it is Guru is a user. Let us say Kaniraj is a user. Sharan is a user. Okay. So roles, I'm talking this in terms of a database. Roles, what all roles can you have? You can have an administrator. Administrator is like head. Let us say you have somebody who is just a reader, and let us say you have somebody who can make changes to it. So let us call him contributor. Okay. So you can keep creating as many rules as you want afterwards. Okay. So I'm not able to write here something. Okay. So you can keep creating as many rules as you want, and there are separate set of permissions. So what do I mean by permission? Let us say I say a person running select query. So this is one permission, run select query. So I say run select query on some specific table, on table A. Let's say there is another permission that is run all the queries, select, insert, update, delete, etc. whatever, on all tables and databases. So this is one permission. So update, allow update, this is one permission. Allow delete. This is one permission. So there are a lot of permissions like this. And what do? We assign these permissions to these roles. So administrator can do everything. So what will I do? I'll assign this role to administrator. Reader can only have select query permission. So what I'll do, I'll assign select query to this person. Contributor, let us say he can do select and update. He cannot do delete. So we'll assign these roles to contributor, select and update. Okay. And then what I can say? I can say I'll give Guru the role of administrator. Okay. Or I can say I'll give Kanniraj the role of reader as well as contributor. Say I'll not give Sharan any role. Okay. So this is how role-based access systems work. So this is called as RBAC. Okay. So it's called stands for role-based access. It's not system, it is control. Okay. So what we are doing, we are creating roles and then we are giving permission to those roles and we are assigning these roles to users and giving them access. Okay. So most of the places we use the same kind of uh, giving roles and all for giving permissions. Even if you see cloud systems like Azure, if you see Google Cloud, Amazon, everywhere, right? Similar kind of fashion is followed. So even in MySQL, we have a similar kind of structure, how we give roles and all. Okay. How we give roles, how we assign permissions. So we'll be looking at this topic today. So these grant and revoke and all, they are in data control language. This will two moves command. And if you are going to give permissions and roles, right? So at what all level can we do it? So in MySQL, you can give at a database level, table level, columnar level, global level, functional level, and proxy. Proxy is like when you're calling from some other API call and all. Okay, so these are the different kinds of level of access that you can give. So database is at a much higher level. Table is slightly lower. Column is even more granular. Okay, so you can go to a table and say give access to this person only for this table. You can go to a database and say give access to a database only for this person like that. You can keep going as low as you want. Okay, so uh, same definitions. There are different types of privileges. Global privilege is like when you have all the permissions. It's like let us say creating a database, deleting a database, creating users and all. No? So they'll come in global privileges. Database privileges is related to one specific database. You have permissions like creating a table, creating a function, creating a stored procedure, modifying something. Those kind of privileges are database privileges. Proxy privileges are so whenever I am logging into a system imitating somebody else. Okay, so it's like I'm having the permission of somebody else. So that is called proxy. And privilege for database objects. This means you don't have the permission at a database level, but you have it at a smaller level. It can be table, column. So you have permission to only view a specific table. Okay, then it is called uh, it is permissions at database level, privileges at database level, database objects level. Okay, so uh, this kind of to managing access and rights of users, it's called data control language. And then you have two main commands, that is grant and revoke. So grant, what do we use grant for? Grant is used to give specific privileges. You can give a privilege to a role or a user. So role is not a person. Role is uh, you can say role as an entity for which you will give certain permissions and you can assign this role to a user. Okay. And the revoke statement is used to remove the permissions from somebody. Okay. And then you can use both same thing. So you can do it on all possible queries. You can grant somebody a permission on select. You can grant somebody permission on insert, update, delete, execute, all of this. Okay. So you can also create somebody who is the main admin, right? You can create user, drop user, rename user. You can set password of the user and all. We'll take a look at how to do all of this. Okay, when I show it to you, you'll be able to understand. So let us say if I wanted to create a user, so then what do? We have the create command, that is select from no, current. Okay. So if you want to see who the current user is, you just have this function, current user function. You do select current user, it will show who the current user is. Current user, so this should show root because the current root at localhost. Hope you're able to see. So you can see root at localhost, right? So what does root at localhost mean? Any user name, right? They're written like this. So you have a name of the user at the rate, and then you have some other value here. Here it is localhost. So this is a combination of username. Username can be anything, and then from where the user is coming. Okay. So in this case, the user is currently on the same machine. It is not coming from some other network. So localhost. So local. What does localhost mean? Localhost means using local. Whenever something is running on the local machine itself, you're not connected to internet. On that kind of a network is called localhost. But it can also be like, let's say I say it is 100.12.10.12.12.12. Okay, so this is an IP address. Okay, for now, just think an IP address is, it is an address to a website, or it is an address from where the internet traffic is coming from. Okay, so it can be any IP address and a combination of username and the IP address. So because the current user and whatever is the server we're using, it's on the local machine, so it is root at localhost. Okay. So let us say if I want to create a new user, what I can do is, okay, we also had a command to show who are the users, right? Select user from MySQL user. Okay. Select user from dot. So MySQL.user is a table. MySQL is a database. You're not able to say this because this is internal, what do you say? This is internal database that is created by MySQL only, and it keeps track of it for seeing what all are the users, what all are the passwords and all. Okay. So if I do select star, it will show all the details of, you can see, right? Host is what is the address from where it is coming, username, and then you have different privileges. I'll explain about this. But for now, just remember, select, if you want to look at what all are the users, if you do select star from MySQL.users, it will show you all the list of users. Okay. So now let us say I wanted to create a user. It is a command create, it is create user, and then let's say the name of the user. Let us say we want the username to be Tasif. Okay. So what I have Tasif, and at the rate, it is still localhost only. Okay. Localhost because it is currently on same machine. Okay? And then if you want to set a password, we use identified by the password name, the password, whatever it is. So let us say, let's create him password is 1234. Okay. So if I do a control enter, right? So this user is created. Okay. If I go back and say select users from user, select users. So you should see Tasif. Okay. But if you see what all permissions Tasif has, because I created Tasif just now, right? He doesn't have any. Wait, select star from MySQL.user, where user is equal to. Okay. So host is localhost, user is Tasif. Select privileges? No, he doesn't have any select privileges. Insert, no. Update, no. Delete, no. Create, no. Drop, reload, shutdown. So there are a lot of privileges, and he doesn't have any of the permissions. Privilege and permission both are same. So this is his password. So it has been encrypted and stored. But if you see, he doesn't have any permissions. So I can also show this to you. How? Let us say I log in as a different user. new connection. So connection name, okay, Tasif connection, and username was Tasif. If I do a test connection, it will ask me for the password. What does the password we give? 1234. Okay. So if I do OK, so it shows we have successfully made a connection. If I do enter, just do OK. So see, Tasif is coming here. Now if I do, see, first of all, he's not seeing any tables at all. Why? Because he's not seeing any databases at all, because you have not given him access to anything, right? If I do, let's say, if you see, no, there are a lot of databases here. Company is a database, but if I do use company, it throws an error. What is it saying? It's saying access denied for user Tasif at localhost to database company. So because I've not given him any access. So let us say I wanted to give him access. So you can see, right, there are two tabs. In one tab, I'm logged in as myself. I'm the administrator. I'm admin. So you can see my permissions also. Your user is root. Okay, so I select permission, insert, update, delete, create, drop, reload, shut down. Because I'm the main guy, right? So I have all. Y means yes here, and N means no. So you see, I have grant privilege, index, alter, show, super, create. So all of these permissions I have. Okay. So now let us say I want to give permission to passive. Okay. So the permission is grant, says select. Okay. Uh, Grant. Let's just see what is the. Just wait 1 second. Is it not showing full? Okay. Grant privilege on privilege level to grant select insert on to whom you want and to what. Okay. So let us say I do grant select, only select on table name. What do I want to give him for? Company. Let's say I only want to give for one company now. That is one table, company.amazon. Company.amazon. What was the other command? Grant select company.amazon to equal to the user. To, was it Tasif at localhost. So if I do an enter, so it says we have given the permission of select on this database, company database, and the user. Somebody has a question. Okay. On this database and this table, we have given him permission. What is the permission? The permission is select. Okay, so now if I run this, it has already been run. So now if I come to this table and then do a refresh, we are able to see, right? Now the company database is showing for him. And inside company database tables, it only shows one table for. Why does it only show one table? Because I, as the admin, have given him permission only on one table. Okay. So now let us say use company, it should succeed for him. But if I do show tables, right? Only table that he can see is Amazon. If I do select star, if I show current user, it should show Tasif as well. Select current user. Okay. Tasif at localhost. So I didn't give insert permission to Tasif, right? Let's see what happens if I try insert permission. Select star from Amazon. Okay. So let's say I want to change the iPhone names to something else. Insert into Amazon. Set name is equal to fake, where ID is equal to 1. Okay. Where is it? Where is not valid? Insert into, not insert into. Update. Update Amazon set fake. Okay. So if I do enter, what do you see here? Update command denied to user Tasif at localhost for table Amazon. Okay. So now he doesn't have access to read, he doesn't have access to update this table. But since I gave him a select access, so he's able to do select. Okay. So what if I wanted to give him update access also? Then what I would do is grant select on, let's say I would do update on. Okay. Then if I do a control dot enter, Now if I come and if I do this, it's not rename it fake. Say it is was the take. It was Apple iPhone 12. Let's rename it Apple iPhone 13. Right? So update on this one set type. This is succeeded. So if I run this, you should see it has become Apple iPhone 13. Okay. So now let us say I want to give all permissions to Tasif. No, let us say I want to give him select read permission on all the tables of this database, that is company. Okay, then what I will do, I will come here. So all the tables I want to give, then what I'll do star. Okay. So if you do star, it means everything. After company, in the database company, give permission to all the tables. Okay. Let's say I give him select permission. Okay. So I can select permission on all the databases. Okay. Then if I do an enter, sorry, if I do an enter, you can see we are giving him permission to all of the tables. Now if I come back and if I do a refresh, see right, he's able to see all the tables. Amazon bitwise. Okay, so this is done. And it says views could not be fetched, store procedures could not be fetched because I've given him permission only for what? Only for tables. Let's say I wanted to give him permission to everything. Okay, then what I would do, I don't want to, I want to give permission to all the databases as well. So I do star dot star. So give him permission to all the databases, all the tables. And if I do enter, select star on star dot star. So now he should be able to see all the databases also, not just company. To refresh. What happened? Select command denied. Denied. एक second. Huh? Client select on star equal dot star dot star to हो गया. Star doesn't do it. Okay. I think this doesn't work. I think we have to do command should be all. पूरा screen क्यों आ रहा है? Second. Okay. 1 second. It should be all on. Should I select star dot star should work. Okay. Instead of this, I have to do all privileges. Here I be. So when I do this, all privileges on all we see is connections. Yes, let us reload this person. Here, passive connection. Okay. I think because of some reason it was not coming. Now it is coming, right? So now because I gave him permission to all the tables, and I've also not just given him permission to all the tables, I've given all privileges. Let us revoke it. Revoke all privileges on star dot star. What is a statement of revoke? 1 second. Let's see that for revoke. Say second. And revoke. Okay. Grant option from. Okay, it's not from. Revoke all privileges. Only from. Okay. All privileges from, not even this. एक second. Revoke all privileges. Grant from username. Revoke delete update on. Hmm. Not sure why it is not working. We'll just check. Okay. Let's get back to the TV for now. What all did we try? Okay. So you can also set the password for a user directly. Like here we had used create localhost and identified by. You can do a separate create user. That is, say I wanted to create a new user, but Tasif cannot create users. Okay. I think we gave all permission he'll be able to do now. But if I create a new user, let's say create user Steve one identified by uh, hello. Hello is his password. So I created Steve. Then if I do again create a new connection, Steve one hello password. Okay, okay. Let's call it Steve. Steve one. Steve one when I'm opening. Okay, since I gave the password. So now if Steve tries to create user, right? Create user, let's say Jeffrey. It is failing. Because why? Because I only created this user just now. He doesn't have the permission to create any users. But I can create. I was creating here also, right? I can create. Okay. And also you can modify their password. Since I'm the main user, right, I can do set password for Steve. It should be set password for uh, Steve dot star. We didn't give him anything that time. This is Steve. So select user comma host from MySQL dot user. Steve is, if you don't give anything, no, it considers, you remember this wildcard character, right? So this means anything is allowed. So because of that, it is like this. So I can just go set password for Steve is equal to, let's say from 1 2 3 4 5. What I'll do, I'll rename it to uh, 1 2 3. It was hello, no? 4 5 6 7 8. Okay. Cannot find any matching rows. Okay. Steve at the rate star. Oh, sorry. Steve one. Okay. Okay. So 0 was affected. So I've basically, because I'm the super user, I can change anybody's password I want at any point in time. So now if Steve tries to log in with his old password, right? Say if I come here and if I say Steve, should ask me for password. And if I type hello, highlighter says, see, it says access denied. Why? Because I've changed the password. So if I've entered the new password, 7 8, no, I'm able to enter. Okay. So let us say I want to drop a user. How do I drop a user? Just say, should we just drop user Steve one? Okay. See, this has dropped Steve from the table. So now if I do select user from SQL.table user, so Steve is no more present. Right? We had added Tasif. Tasif is there. Root is there. Nobody else is present. Okay. So let's get back to the PPT. So create, throw. Then you can also do show grants for a particular user. Then it will show what all permissions you have given. Let us do this for Tasif. Okay. Show grants for Asif at the rate localhost. Okay. So we see we have given all these. So these are all whatever we ran, right? We ran initially. We wanted to company all tables, and then we added select and update. Then we gave him all permissions afterwards, right? So all these are also given for a permission. So if I wanted to delete them, we should do revoke. Not sure why revoke was not working. We'll try. Okay. This is this. We did drop grant also. So grant you can do. So what is the syntax? We say grant and then whatever privilege you want on whatever is the command. It can be select, insert, update, whatever is the command. Okay, create. So you give a privilege. You give that command here, and then you say what is the level. Do you want to give it to all for one whole database? So it is like this. So if you say company dot star, this means in database company any table. Okay. So if you do why I'm saying table because select is only available applicable on table, right? So if you give some other command, then it will give it for that other item. Okay. If you do star dot star, then it is for all the databases, all the tables. Then if you do what company dot some specific name that is Amazon. So this means only for this database and only for this table. Okay, so these are all the different levels. And then I think you can also give mm, okay, this is execute and create routine. You can see so execute and create routine is a kind of function. So for that you're not specified a database name. You're given dot. Dot means whatever is the current table. Okay, and same permission giving. Then let us see revoke. Uh, wait. Let's run this command. Sure, wait. I don't think we need to use revoke all privileges, grant option. Okay, you have to put comma from passive at localhost. So if I run this, can't revoke all privileges for one or more requested users. Why? Okay, host name is not there. Passive at localhost. Okay, so now we've removed all. So now if I do show grants for passive at the rate host, now he don't have anything. It is only one usage. The usage अभी है क्या? If I do refresh, revoke usage also let us do it. Revoke usage on dot star. Okay, so we removed this also. Now let us do show grants or select the rate local. I think this also should work because oh, I think this is specific to this grant table only. Not sure why it is not going. I'll take a look. I'll check why this particular one is not going. Okay, but revoke commands are also straightforward. What you see, select whatever is the role, whatever is the privilege that you want to revoke. Select, insert, and then you on which type, which user you want, and you run it. Okay. So this is okay. What we are doing here is we are assigning a specific command, a specific privilege to a user. But I'll tell you what is the problem with this. Okay. Why we need to come up with roles. That I'll tell you. Okay. So let us say there is a company. There's company A. Okay. So what happened is company A, Sushant Sushant joined this company and Sushant was given the post of manager. Okay, so that is fine. Then what we started doing was we gave permissions to Sushant. So I gave select permission to Sushant. Select grant, select on some table name to Sushant. Sushant wanted, we needed, so Sushant was manager, so he needed some other permissions. What we did was we gave him update, we gave him insert, we gave all these permissions. Okay. So all these permissions were given to Sushant. And because Sushant also worked on, let's say, some functions and all, so we gave him function permissions also. Okay. So Sushant had a list of permissions. Let's say he had 1, 2, 3, 4. So he had 100 permissions. Okay. Then what happened? Sushant got an offer from company B. So he got an offer from company B for huge money. So here, let's say I was getting 10 lakh. He got an offer from company B for 20 lakh. So what will Sushant do? Sushant will stay back? No, right? Sushant will go to company B. So that time what Sushant went, Sushant left and went. So Sushant is no more there. All good. But when the next person came, let us say next person was Raghavendra. So when Raghavendra came, what we had to do was we had to assign all these permissions again to Raghavendra. Right? So I assigned select permission, insert, whatever these 5 permissions were there, right? Whatever these 100 permissions were there, I had to assign them to Raghavendra. Okay. So let us say like this, only this cycle keeps continuing. So people keep coming and people keep going. Then it becomes very difficult to remove permission and assign permission, right? So uh, so this is one reason. That is what is the reason? People keep changing. Okay. So one is people keep changing, and then the Sushant, I give the example of company A. So company A is a very big company. Let's say there are 1 lakh people and there are 1,000 managers. Okay. So now since there are 1,000 managers, if I have to assign one role to everyone, one permission to everyone, so how many times I have to do it? I have to do it 1,000 times. Okay. And then let us say what happened, the management decided, oh, managers need to be given 1 extra permission. Then what I would have to do, I would have to go and give that extra permission to all these 1,000 people. Okay. So in that, it is highly possible that I might miss 1 person. So only 998 people are assigned this role. Okay. Or let us say instead of 1,000 people, I gave it to 1,002 people. Somehow I did a mistake and I gave it to somebody who was not a manager also. Okay. So this is also possible, right? So when we assign permissions to people directly, it is difficult to keep track. So let us assume now management told us there was 1 permission which we gave to all the managers and now that permission needs to be removed. Then what you will have to do, you'll have to go to every single person's account and change the permission. Okay, so that is also very difficult, right? So then what we can do is these people keep changing, but roles don't, right? Today person A is the manager. Tomorrow person B will become the manager. But manager will stay in the company, right? The role of the manager will always stay. So then what we can do is instead of assigning all these 100 permissions to every single person, all these 1,000 managers, what I'll do, I'll create a role called manager and I'll assign these 1,000 people the role of manager. Okay, so now these 1,000 people are all managers. So now any permission that I want to assign, right, I will not assign to these 1,000 people. Instead, I'll assign to this manager only, this manager role. Okay, so now let us say the company says, oh, you have to add 1 new permission to manager, all the managers. Then what I'll do, I'll just add to this manager role. I'll say manager has update permission. Okay, so now since manager has update permission, all these 1,000 people are managers, right? So now what I have, they'll directly get permission to update the tables because I've given update permission to manager. And if I remove the permission from manager, now all these 1,000 people will not have that permission at all. Okay. And if at any point in time a new person is joining, instead of giving all these 1,000 roles to them, I'll just give the role of manager to that new person. Okay. And if anybody is leaving, I'll remove their I'll take off the permission. Okay. This is more simple, right? So this is like all the all the rules are at centralized place. So we are not interacting with any people. We are directly interacting with roles, and we are assigning permission, giving permission, taking, removing permission from direct roles only. We are not assigning it to single people. So let us see how to create roles, delete roles, assign to them to people, and remove them. Okay. So it is again very straightforward. Create role, drop role, and when you're assigning a role, it's more of like grant role. Okay. So just for example, so create role name at localhost at host name. So what does this mean? This means create is straightforward, role is straightforward. So the name of the role is this, and it is for all the people who are coming from this URL or who are coming from this internet address. Okay, like for example, here what I can do is tasks cannot create, I can create. So I'll do create role. Um, Let us say we have the library table. Okay, so then what I would do create role library at localhost. Okay. So now I created the role. How do we see the role? So if you see show star from MySQL.user. So even roles are stored here only. Show name select star from MySQL.user. So you can see what was the name of the role. The name of the role was library, right? So it is stored here only. So the difference is roles do not have any password because nobody can log in as a role, right? So you see a role won't have a password. It is empty, right? Others all like there's also some role. This either a role or we have not created given him password, but all the people who have okay read user there's also a role only. Okay, all the people who are roles they'll not have a password. See here. Okay, so this is not a password. So now we have done role. So if I do show grants on library, what was the name? Library at localhost. Show grants. What was it for? Okay, this is the basic command. So not given any permission. So let us say now I give a read permission to this role. Grant read is select on let us say company all the tables company dot star to what is the name of the role? The name of the role is library dot at the rate localhost. Okay. So now what we've done, we have given select permission to library role. So if I do show grants for, I think it should show grants for. Okay, so if I do enter, he has select on company dot star and this is given before only. So now it is not assigned to any user, right? So let us say I assign to Tasif. Tasif currently cannot do select star from let him log into company, use company. Okay. Select star from Amazon. Is able to do this is Tasif only, right? 1 second. Show grants or Tasif the rate equal post. And usage there is only one. Okay. Let's do a refresh. Let's log in again and try. Okay. Process password. Password was 1234, I think. Yeah, I think that it didn't persist. So now if you see, if I do use company, see access denied for Tasif. Okay. So now Tasik doesn't have access, but what I can do is I know this role, library at localhost. So this has access to, this has all the read permissions. So what I can do is I can assign this role to Tasik. Okay, how do I do that? Grant role name to username. Okay, so you give the grant name to the username. So now if I do grant library at the rate localhost to Asif at the rate localhost. Okay. So now what has happened? We are given. So now Tasif has what role? Tasif has library role. Okay. Do we see? There should be a way to see the roles also. Okay. I don't have the role. But now if I do what all roles Tasif has, it should come that show grants. Now you can see. Okay, so he has grant users and library. So because now he has this permission, he actually at the end will have permission to see all the tables, see all the uh, he has all the permissions that library has. And what all permissions library has? I have made it librarian, but okay. Librarian has permission on all to reading all the tables. Okay. So now if I do use company again, it is failing, but let us close and reload. Okay. So now when I do 1, 2, 3, 4, enter. Company अरे नहीं किया 1 second why show grant usage and select company dot start to library localhost show grants for passive yes library localhost permission why is he not coming 2 3 4 okay. 1 second a minute passive at localhost there is also show current user passive at localhost show grants or passive at localhost. So we have the library permission. Why is it not coming? Hmm, Second query is also same. Hmm, Let's try assigning it to some new person. Okay. So let us say assign it to Steven. Steven's permission was what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. No. Say let's create a new user. Create user. Say he's Amar at localhost. Set I just set password. Okay. Set password for Amar at localhost is equal to 1. Okay. So now let us log in Amar connection. Amar. Amar. So there's one. Okay. It is created. Let us assign permission to grant library at localhost to Amar localhost. So you give Amar permission. So if I log in Amar, wait, company. Hmm, hmm. Library के permissions तो सही है ना? Hmm, show brands for company dot star. It's to particular table mate. Grant select on company dot Amazon to library conpost. One नहीं आता था मैं कल देखता हूँ क्या. Okay. So now if I do I close this guy and if I log in again, because I've already assigned Amar permission of library, it should show up. It is not showing. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure why it is not working. I'll just check and let you guys know tomorrow what is the issue. Okay, but the idea is same. So you create roles and then you assign these roles to the users, and then you revoke the per. Whenever you don't want to give this role to the user, you revoke the role user. Okay, and if you want to drop the role, you drop the role like this. Drop role. Next is MySQL subqueries. So what are subqueries? We might have seen a lot of such queries, right? If I go back to my normal, select star from use company, select star from Amazon. Okay, where I would do here, mm, where what does this table look like first of all? Brand, okay. Where category, let's do category in, then I would write another query here. Okay, select category from Amazon where brand is equal to Apple. So what am I doing here? Basically, I'm writing a query. This is one, and inside that I'm writing one more query, right? So what happens is whatever is the response that is coming from this query is executed first. After that, this response is fed as an input for this query, right? So if I run this, it should show me all the items which are there in category in which in which Apple is present, right? So if I would do just this alone query, right, it would show me what all are those categories, but the categories are smartphones, earbuds, and tablets. So other than Apple, Samsung is also there in smartphones. Nobody else is there in anything. Okay. So, but the idea here is there is one query, and inside that you are writing another query to achieve something. Okay. Okay, Suraj has understood, but little confused. I'll explain back again. Okay. Why two Samsung showing? Because if I run this, I'll just show you. Okay. So if I run this query, what am I getting? It's become a little big. Let me make it a little smaller. Okay. So if I enter, the categories are smartphones, earbuds, and tablets. So whatever is the response from this query, right? It is coming inside this. So it is as good as saying where category in smartphones and then earbuds and then tablets. Okay, so this is as good as saying this. So if I were to run this, I would get this still the same answer, right? Because these categories, smartphones, earbuds, and tablets, no, these are the products that are there in smartphones, earbuds, and tablets category. Why two Samsung? There is not two Samsung. There's only one Samsung item. Okay, so that Samsung is showing because Samsung also belongs to smartphone category. Okay, so that is why instead of writing this, I can write this. Okay, so this is like you're running one query inside inner query. As this query executes, whatever is the result of this query, it is fed into this second query. It is fed into the main query. Okay, so I can also write query inside query inside query. So I can do this where brand equals select brand from Amazon where ID is equal to 1. So this is as good as saying, first run this. What will this give me? Select brand from Amazon where ID is equal to 1. It will give me Apple. Okay. So now first this query is run and then this gets replaced by saying this will become Apple. Okay. And then this is used in this query and then this runs. Okay. Let's show you. Because this will always give me only one item, I can write equal to here. Okay. Should work. Right. So same answer I'm getting. So instead of writing Apple directly, I did this. Okay. So these kind of queries, right? These are called as subqueries. So query inside a query, it's called subquery. Okay. And these subqueries are known as inner by, and then whatever is inner by, not inner query, and whatever was the query outside, that is called as outer query. And always the inner query is executed first, and then it gives the result to the outer query, and whatever is outer query that is performed. Okay. And if you see subqueries, always are put in parentheses. So like how here we did this, right? So opening bracket and closing bracket. So subqueries are put inside this. So you can have one subquery inside another subquery. It can go as long as possible. There should be some actual limit, but you can go in as long as possible. Okay. And then we cannot use the order by clause in a, how do you say? We cannot use a order by clause inside a subquery. What do I mean by this? If let's say I do order by here, where brand is Apple, order by something, order by category. This doesn't make any sense here, right? So even if it is ordered by in an ascending order or if it is in descending order, we are just getting all the items and checking whether it is equal to this or let's say I didn't have in or I had category greater than something. Category can't be greater than, but let's say I had some number and I wanted to do number greater than something. So it doesn't make sense to add order by category in the subqueries because the final list, I might want to do a order by on the final list. But here, since I'm using it just to get the info to pass in the main query, we can't use order by. Okay, it should fail, I think, if I run this. It still runs, yeah. But ideally, we should not use it to become slower because it doesn't make any sense. If I write, it is like saying this. If I write smartphones, not smartphone, okay, smartphone only, earbuds and tablets. Or if I write this also, it doesn't make it the same. Or if I write this also, it is same only. It doesn't make any difference. This is checking these three items. Here also we're checking the same three items. So it is one and the same. So you should not use order by in the subqueries. Okay. And then if you use a subquery in a set function, it cannot be immediately enclosed in the set function. 1 second. I forgot what I've written. If we use a subquery in a set function, it cannot be immediately enclosed in a set function. Okay, it is like saying two sets at a time. So even in insert function side, you can use a subquery. So let us say I do not insert, let's say update function. Update. So I had this right. Okay, so brand is Apple, right? So what I'll do, let us say I want to update all these categories to premium brand, category to premium category. Then what I would do, update Amazon, set equal to premium, where category in select from Amazon. So what this will do, this will run the query and this will set all the category of all these items to premium. If I run this, okay, so now if I do select star from Amazon, we should see why has it not set? 1 second. Category brand is category in update Amazon set category is equal to premium where category in okay, 1 second. We're saying the same thing, right? In subquery a set function, it cannot be immediately enclosed by set function. Okay, I think this is what it was saying. If I use a set and I'm using a subquery, it will not work. Hmm, not very sure why. I'll check this also. Why it is not working this way. If I do where category in, say this like this, saying smartphones. I run now. We're using oh, okay. We are using safe operator. 1 second. How do we disable safe? Disable safe mode in MySQL. It is a set will save updates to zero. Control enter. Zero will affected. Now let us try this. It now 2 rows affected changed. Now let us try this. So now if I run this, can't specify target Amazon from update or update in from class. Okay. Select from Amazon. Yeah. So we cannot give the same table name. So here I'm doing an update and I'm also querying on the same table. So what this will do is this might change the results afterwards because they both are we are using the same tablet, so you cannot do that. Okay. But you can use subqueries from a different table and you can use them inside the query. Okay. Mhm. I think I have some examples. So what are the advantages? So let us say I didn't have three categories. I had 100 categories in the query. So now it becomes very difficult for me to specify all those 100 categories, right? So instead what I'll do, I'll write this query. So it becomes very easy. So like for example, let us say in this world table, right? Use table world, use world. Okay. If you do show tables, you have city, countries, country, language, any. Travel world. Select star from country. Okay. So let us say I want to what okay. Hmm, let us say I want to make a query and the query says all the countries that are there in Caribbean region. Okay. So I want to find all the cities which are there in Caribbean region. Okay. So I have a city table. So city table doesn't have any information about the uh, whether a region is belonging to Caribbean or no. Okay, but who has it? Country table has it. Okay, so country table has region Caribbean or no. So then what I'll do, I'll first find out all the countries that are there in the Caribbean region, then I'll map them. Like for example, select star from city. City has a common column that is country code. Okay. So what I could do, select star from city where country code in, then I could do select distinct country code. I don't even need distinct. 70, select country code from same table, that is no, not from different table, that is country where region is equal to Caribbean, right? This should be the thing. So now if I run this, now it will return me all the cities that are in the Caribbean region. But actually we wanted to get them from city table and we only had country code. But what we did, we found out all the countries which are there in Caribbean region, and we found out that via subquery, and from that subquery we are matching the country code of all the cities here. Okay, I run. Okay, spelling is wrong. CARREBIAN. I just to select star from country. CARIBBEAN. CARIBBEAN. Okay, so now if I run this, see, so now all these cities, right? These are there in the Caribbean region. Let's say if I wanted to do this via, what do you say, uh, basically directly using in, then I would have to type in all the country codes. AFG, I have to do AFG and then I have to do NLD. So all these country codes I would have to add myself basically finding out, right? So instead of that, what we did, we are solving it using a subquery. Okay. So let us say I wanted to find out another situation where I want to find out the countries whose average population is more than the average population of Africa. Okay. So it is like select all countries whose population is greater than average country population of Africa. Okay, Africa continent. So how would I do this now? So I can find the average country population of Africa in a subquery and then pass it to the main query, right? How would I do that? So I would do select star from country, TRY, where population, I think population is a table. Population greater than, now inside this I'll write a query. Select AVG population from country where continent is equal to Africa, right? This is the query. So now this will return me all the countries. Let's do this. Name and population. So if I do an enter, saying it has some error. Select average population from country where continent is Africa. Close this. Select name, comma, population. Let's check the Okay, this is it is saying error because of this. Okay, so now if I run this unknown column population. Okay. Hmm. So now you can see, right? So this shows all the countries whose average population is more than the average population of Africa. Right? So let us say instead of Africa, if you had done this Asia, no, then there would be very few countries. There are still countries. They're mostly Asian countries only. See, Bangladesh, Brazil, China, Germany. So all these are countries whose average population is more than the average population of Asia. So how we are able to find this out? By using subqueries. Okay, so in one subquery, we calculated the average population of a country, and then in the other uh, and in the main query, we used this value and then found out the other used that value as a condition and found out whatever we needed. Okay. So this is another example of a subquery. That is what. So and it also makes everything look properly structured. If I would have to do it by giving a number, then the number wouldn't make any sense. Or if I would do a in clause, and clause, and all, it would become very long. So one is it brings a proper structure to the query, and then it also gives us an alternative way to query the data. And you can also do this with joins. Okay, the one that I showed you right here, the previous query. Select country where control by y. Okay, so I've done this right. So this can also be done from join. Okay, so what I'm basically looking for is join both these tables and only return me the value wherever the country code is Caribbean. So this is like this. Select star from city, join from table from is already there. Inner join on inner join the country, the other table that is country on city dot country code, right? City dot column CP, city dot country code is equal to the country table has country dot code. Okay. So then I would have all the columns. उसके बाद I should do a where clause. So after joining, where region is equal to Caribbean. And this it should 0 rows क्या? एक second. City dot country dot code इशू क्यों दिखा रहा है? स्पेलिंग फिर गलत हो गया क्या? CARRE. One second. Select star from country. CARIBBEAN. Okay. So now if you see, it will give me the same result. So it is giving me all this. I can do a count and show you. Okay. So this, if I do count star, that's giving me, this is giving me 58 cities. Okay. So if I do the same query with that other query, right? So what was that query? That would be select count star from city where uh, country code in region Caribbean, right? Sorry. Control C. Select country code from what? From country where region. Okay. So now if I do count for this should also give me what? 58. Okay. So if I run this, Oh, why is it giving me 4079? 1 second. Select count from select country code from country where region is Caribbean. Hmm. 1 second. Select count. 1 second, man. It is giving me all count, I think. I run this 4079. If I remove this and then run this, it is giving 4079. It is missing something somewhere. Second bit. Select country code from country code and city where select country code from country where region is Caribbean. बस इसी को चला के देखते 1 सेकंड. Country code from city where count. These are only 24. Country code in. So why is this not showing? Select count star from city where country code in. Is any fact? No. Code in. Hmm. Very good. 1 second. Let me see. Let's just do select star. Let's see how many it returns. Okay. It's returning me a lot. So somehow it is not working properly. This query is not working properly. Select star from country code where country code in. Select country code from country where region is Caribbean. If I do distinct. अब कितने आ गए? इतने सारे आ रहे हैं. Region is Caribbean. Select star. In country table, there is no country code only. Country table, the only thing is code. I don't know why it was not showing any error. अब सही आनी चाहिए. Select count from table where Caribbean. 58. देखो, this is 58. This is also 58. So I got the issue. Yeah, correct. So it has proved it correct. So now even if I don't do distinct, it should give me the same answer. 58. Okay. So it didn't throw an error. It should have actually thrown an error, but I'm not sure why. But I was using country code. But both of them are doing the same thing. So here what I'm doing an inner join, and then I'm checking the region. This will work because every city has a country code and all the country codes are present in the country table. So I'll not miss anything and I'll find out all the cities which are in Caribbean region. Same way I can do the other ways. Instead of matching the country code and then checking, get all the country codes which are already in Caribbean region and check here directly if it is in that country code. Okay. Does this explain this query? Okay, we'll look at questions after some time. I'll just finish these topics, then we'll go solve questions. Okay. So subqueries. Okay. Then some examples I think should be very straightforward. So here, first one, what we are doing is this is nothing. We're getting the employee ID and then we're just checking inside the employee ID. Nothing fancy. So let us say we wanted to find all employees whose employee income is less than this is also very basic. Instead of doing directly instead of getting the employee details directly, we're doing get all the employees whose salary is greater than 35,000 and then query. Okay. So this what you're doing is This also is not logical. So we're getting the max income from employees, and then we are checking who is that employee whose income is max. Okay. And then I have again a lot of examples. So in this, what we are doing, name city from one table, and let us say we want to find out all the students who are not from Los Angeles. This could have been directly done also, but there are two different tables. Student is one table, student two is another table. So we wanted to find out people, all the students who belong to Los Angeles city from table two, and then check that they're not in table one. Okay. Then here, what are we doing? We are finding the max items, min items, floor, average items from utility count as item from orders group by order date. Student order detail. Okay, not sure what this query is. You'll have to look at the table. So this is the query where, let us say I want to find out uh, who all are the employees whose average income is more than certain. Let us say I take Jaipur city. So get me all the employees whose income is more than the average income of all employees from Jaipur. So this query is like that. Okay. Oh, I've given a lot of examples. So, and then you have again similar subqueries. They should be self-explanatory. You should be able to understand. Okay. So now after this, let us discuss control flow. Okay. I think enough for today. We'll do the rest of the parts tomorrow.